Alright, what's up guys? I have not been very consistent with these videos lately, but that is just fine, I think, in my books. So, I'm heading back to Fort Collins right now. I was in the Springs at my parents' house for the last almost a week now, I think. I've been here for a while, or there for a while. And I don't know, I guess on the way back I was just thinking about a few things. It's been kind of an emotional... I'm trying to get the steering wheel out of your face. It's been kind of an emotional... I don't even really know how long. Just since this whole coronavirus thing's kind of been going on, things have been kind of weird. And not just for me, it's for the kind of the whole world, you know? I think that the whole world's kind of in shock still, and everyone's kind of freaking out, and they're isolated, and they're lonely, and they're scared, and those are all very real things, you know. And I was just talking to my family a lot in the last week, and especially my mom and my sister, because I don't know, we tend to do that more than anybody else in the family. And I don't know, a few things kind of crossed my mind. One of the things was there's kind of some weirdness going on between my parents. And I was just thinking about how, like, as a kid, how I could sense these things happening from way earlier on. And I remember just feeling the need or the obligation to remain quiet about it. Like, I never really felt like I had the right to speak up and say, hey, like the arguments and all the tension that I'm feeling and experiencing is bothering me. You know, I feel like I think for a long time I never understood that, you know. I was like stuck assuming that I had to just deal with whatever they would show us, you know. And I guess I just assumed that was like part of parenting. This is just how life was. That's all that I knew. Those were my only parents, obviously, and so that's just what I was exposed to. And it wasn't constant either. Like I had an awesome childhood for a majority of my life. You know, I feel like basically my entire life. But there certainly were pieces of it where I feel like I was dealing with maybe more than I should have been dealing with just internalizing all these emotions and feeling like I needed to keep quiet about these things, which is not true. I think that we've all got the right and we've all got the power to speak up and to speak up for ourselves and say, you know, this is bothering me, like, let's fix this thing, or let's at least work towards fixing this thing. I just think for years and years, and even a little bit still now, I have felt like I just haven't been allowed to talk about the way I felt. But I've made a lot of progress. See, this is annoying. I've made a lot of progress with realizing that's not true. That's not the case at all. And this road is just making me angry right now. I think that me, along with probably many others, are in kind of like a emotionally delicate place right now. I think that we're like kind of all on the verge of a breakdown, you know, because there's just a lot of shit going on. And we don't really know what to do with it. You know, most of us haven't ever experienced this before, and I'm certainly one of those people because I've obviously never been through a pandemic before. I mean, there was the whole Ebola thing, which was like just like this weird idea that I had never really considered. I just knew about the word, and then it's like a crazy thing that's happening. But like this is so different. Now it's actually really honestly affecting the world, and like all of our lives are just in these weird, wacky, confusing, isolated, boring, lonely, kind of depressing states, you know. We're all kind of in these weird places right now, and we're not, you know, because humans are not by any means meant to be stuck at their homes. Humans are meant to be outside and like adventuring and exploring and experiencing hardship and you know, experiencing adventure and just growing and doing all these things that you don't get when you're in your home, you know. Your home is great to come back to, but only after you've been outside and after you've done all these things. Like, you don't get to experience a whole lot of adversity inside of a house. It's maybe just different types of adversity, but certainly not the types that we are traditionally used to or accustomed to, I think. maybe that's kind of a side topic, but I guess the main point is that I think that we've all got the right to speak up for ourselves and the right to say how we feel and express that in however, whatever way feels most comfortable, I guess. Just for an example, last night, my parents kind of like, it's sad to say, but like it's a pretty usual thing to see them in tension and near and like right next to us. They're just such different people, and they've been married for so long that I don't know. I think that there's always been some underlying tension, maybe, and there's been parts of a lot of the things that they have together are great and are awesome, and that we get to share these amazing experiences with each other. But there's always kind of been this thing where it's like, well, they don't necessarily get along in certain ways, which is obvious. I mean, we're all certainly different, unique people. No one's perfect for anybody. But I don't know. I guess we're able to make what do you call it? We can negotiate with each other, and I think that sometimes just doesn't happen. And I think when you can negotiate to a point of I don't really know where I'm going with this anymore. But anyway, my story though last night was that there was some tension between my parents, and I had just gotten so sick and tired of seeing this, because it's just such a common thing. And that's where I was going with this, is that I've gotten used to seeing them in tension, and gotten used to seeing my mom in pain, and I've gotten used to seeing my dad ignore all that shit, and then I just get to sit there and watch it, and I just got sick of it. And so I called them out last night, and I said, like, let's just fucking work through. Let's just like at least talk about it, because no one's even was saying anything. It was just like quiet, but there was like this tension that we all so obviously felt. Like, it was so clear. And I was just like, all right, let's just fucking like work with it. Like, let's talk about it, and then try to move on. I don't know. And so we talked about it, which, I mean, it temporarily helped, but it's rough, because like I know that it's just gonna happen again and again and again, because there's been no progress. There's nothing has fucking changed in so long, that why all of a sudden would things change just because we talked about anything just this one time? Like, it was good for that one scenario, but it's not long term, and I'm just sick of it. And so anyway, I called them out, and we briefly talked about it and kind of cleared the air. And then we watched this movie called The Last 3 Days, which is actually a really good movie. It's very well done, but it's also like super stressful. There's like a lot that I didn't even want to see during that movie, and I just felt myself really like disgruntled and unhappy, and like and just unresolved. I think that's the best word, is unresolved. I just felt so unresolved with everything, and just watching that movie sucked. It was like it was a great movie, but it was just a stressful movie that like contributed to my all these weird things that I've been feeling. Wow. And I just didn't say a word about it. Like, that was the main takeaway, is that I should have said something, and I absolutely should have said, like, hey, let's just change the movie, like, or hey, I'm not enjoying the way this movie's making me feel, let's just fucking change the movie. But I didn't say anything, and instead I internalized all of that shit, and in turn I felt awful. Like, I felt bad the whole night. Going to bed, I didn't feel good. I woke up feeling fucking tired, like super, super tired. And I just the whole morning, even like, I'm a little better now, I guess, because now it's 11, in the morning. But I just felt rough waking up, and I just realized it was because I had been internalizing all of this garbage that was unresolved, and it was because I didn't speak up about it. I did call them out. Like, so I guess, like, on the one side I called them out, and I did speak up about it. But on the movie side, I didn't say a word, and I like let all those things just kind of happen to me, as if I had no say in anything, as if I just wasn't allowed to speak out. I'm 22 years old now, and I still was in that block of me not realizing that. So I think that's the main message is is speak up for yourself and express how you feel. Because if you don't, you're going to live in this pile of horse shit for who knows how long. And I think that the pile of horse shit will grow and grow until you speak about it. I guess that's the main message today. So I just want to make a video about that because I haven't really made a video for a while now. And I think that's a pretty important message for people to hear and comprehend and implement, especially now because we're in just such weird, unprecedented times. Like, there's just some weird shit happening right now. And so I think it's especially important now to realize how we're feeling and learn how to manage our emotions. Because I think that people are terrible at that most of the time anyway, when you actually do have different avenues of ways to solve some of these things, or at least alleviate some of the pressures that you're feeling. Like when there's not a coronavirus happening, you can go to the gym, you can go blow off some steam, or you can go, I don't know, to not saying this is the best idea necessarily, but you can go to a party, you can go drink your feelings away, or you can go and meet up with your friends and talk about things. But now, we can't necessarily do that as easily. We're not even legally supposed to. And so, it's just a little bit tricky right now to be experiencing the same things you would normally without a coronavirus, but not have the same avenues to alleviation that you would normally. So it's especially tricky now, which means it's especially important to work through some of these things and learn how to manage your emotions. Because again, you're gonna experience a ton of emotions the rest of your life, every single day, constantly. I mean, you're literally feeling some emotion 24/7. Every second of the day, you're in one state, right? You're feeling some emotion, so it's worth investing in them. And I guess I'll end it on that note. I'll see you maybe tomorrow. I'm not totally sure yet, honestly. We'll see what happens with that, but we'll see you soon. So Roger out.